Welcome to Lifestyle Unplugged with Monica.
And Lauren.
Lauren, how are you doing today?
I'm excited because I'm here with Anne-Marie.
Yay! We're so excited Anne-Marie's joining us.
I'll introduce her. Anne-Marie Baird is the Director of Property Management here at Brighton with me, and we have been through some things together.
Oh my
We
goodness.
have.
So I
can't, this is really cool. We have two heavy hitters from Brighton.
welcome.
The powerhouse, the duo.
Yes.
Let's see if we can hold down the fort with you two.
Let's see. What are our nicknames here, Anne-Marie? I'm the gas pedal and she's the brake.
Definitely.
Oh, that's very good. I love that.
I'm like, oh, I have an idea. And she's like, well, what are the
Let's think this
guidelines? What are the
through.
rules?
I love that. And we all have that, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. The gas pedal.
So Anne-Marie and I have had a lovely morning today.
Please do share.
So we took back over one of our 55 and up communities that they had turned us over at the end of development.
Okay.
Or turned over and got rid of us.
Yes.
And then they realized how amazing we were. So they asked us to come back.
That's nice.
Yes. And so we were getting in their website and there was some formatting issues. Monica, we did coding this morning. We coded the icon back into the menu bar.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
The gas pedal and the brake working together. It's amazing.
There was this massive cheering from her office.
There was.
It was like, okay, do we click save or do we do this?
Yeah. We were like, how easily can we undo this if we just messed it up? And we said, let's just go. She gassed it, hit save, and it worked, and we all went cheers and excited.
So website developers here.
Put that on the resume.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. It's like, we're adding that to our resumes.
Definitely.
Yep.
Light development.
Just be careful. They're going to start asking for more of this. So just be careful.
And I'll be like,
I mean, we don't have to give them total credit. But...
There'll be a lot of, how do I do this in my browser?
Just copy, paste, help.
Hey, ChatGPT can be a great resource. So that's awesome.
It's a great tool. Yes, it is.
Yes, a great tool. So I'm excited to meet you, Anne-Marie. I've heard so much great things about you. And I'm just happy that you agreed to come on with us. You know, sometimes it's a little unknown to hang out with us, but I'm excited because I think what you do is so important to what Lifestyle does. And it's important that the gas pedal and the brake, you have them both in a car, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a problem if you didn't. And I think it's important for Lifestyle and managers to understand how they can work well with each other.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
we are the team.
I love it. Anne-Marie, will you give us your background?
Okay. Yeah. So I have been doing association management for 20 years now. It's crazy to say that number. It is so weird to say that number, but it's 2026. So it's been a little more than 20 years now.
And you're only 19. Isn't it amazing?
Exactly. Gosh, I knew I was going to love this.
Yeah, we try.
I know. So yeah, just 20 years of experience now with HOAs and all their different levels of development, from being finished to just starting out. And it's not just HOAs, but commercial and multifamily. A lot of that stuff we've got plenty of history with.
Love it.
She's part of it all, from the farms to the finished communities.
Absolutely. Managing farmland until it gets developed, amenities, clubhouses, all those things, to fully finished planned communities or business complexes.
Awesome. Well, so one of the reasons that I wanted you to join us today when Lauren and I were discussing this is because there's some questions that I think that you could answer, and not so much that you have to speak on behalf of every community manager or GM that's out there, but just giving us your kind of perspective, I think will help lifestyle directors and managers see how they can really work together for the benefit of the community.
Oh, I was going to say, I really don't think there is an option. I think that to be successful, you have to work together. It is a teamwork, right? Like, if she's successful, it makes things better for the community. It means we're successful, and vice versa. So you really can't operate without each other.
Mm-hmm. I know I can't operate without her.
Agreed. Agreed. So let's start with the first question then.
Okay.
What perspective do you believe the manager can provide to the LD in regards to event planning?
So perspective is definitely I have a different perspective of it. So
Mm-hmm.
the lifestyle director is always looking at the activity, the fun. I'm looking at the legality side of things. How's this happening? And also funding. So I'm kind of keeping a balance on what are we doing? How does this correlate with our rules or anything else? Most of the time, fun things are okay. But there's occasionally where you have to be like, okay, are we serving alcohol? Are we gambling? Are we doing other things? Are fun things?
Never,
But
ever.
can they
Just kidding.
coexist? We always want to make
I
sure
love it.
there's a balance.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that is something. I mean, and let me just speak for myself. Like when I was a lifestyle director, I don't think I gave my manager enough credit for all the
Mm.
stuff that they were dealing with on their end, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't seeing that because I wasn't sitting at her desk watching her work. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. We talked about lifestyle stuff. We didn't talk about all the issues. I mean, unless they were crazy and we had to be aware. But other than that, you don't understand what the manager is going through until you kind of talk with the manager. And I think that's what's really important is for the manager to understand lifestyle and what they're doing, and for the lifestyle person to understand what the manager does on a daily basis, because I think sometimes that gets lost. And then the assumptions come in of, well, why can't she be here? Why can't, all that kind of stuff. But going back a perspective when it comes to legality and different things like that, I think that is so important. And what made me laugh when you said gas pedal and brake is that's exactly what I think of. Like, we're like full steam ahead. This is going to be awesome. We can make it work and happen. And we really need the manager to go, whoa, that's illegal. Like, we can't do that. Like,
But it's gonna be fun.
but no one will know. I think that's a really big piece to what we do when we work with our on-site team.
Yeah, assessing risk. I think that's one of the biggest things, right? We look at it and we're like, okay, so we're going to have kids running, and where's this going to be at? And think of all the possibilities of things to go wrong, right? And then we say, okay, we're going to need this there. We're going to need that there. We're going to have to, we can't do it here. We need to go over here. I think now that Laura and I have worked together for so long, she knows those questions I'm going to ask right up front.
Yeah.
Like, what are all these details? And she kind of already has plans for a lot of that in advance. But again, that comes with years of working together, and we don't do the same event every time, right? The events continue to evolve and grow. And so you're always trying to find the balance and keep the fun engaging and new and exciting, and then just making sure it's within budget, safe, all those little odds and
Legal.
ends, legals, things. Yes.
I will say to our lifestyle director listeners and community creators, don't take it personally when they're telling you no. Just become the what if person. Like, well, what if we did it like this? What about that? Because she will eventually, or he, say yes. But you just got to get creative with your thinking. Sometimes there's the I told you so moments. I'll never forget my first event with Anne-Marie, and she was like, you're doing water balloons? I was like, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. She was like, okay. Guys, I was picking up balloons for 6 months because they busted in the landscaping rock. I mean, so it's not necessarily that it's a guideline or something. Just hear what they have to say. Consider it for a moment.
Yeah, it helps you understand the plan, right? Because they're thinking of what is it going to look like when you get done? How is it going to be cleaned? And we are typically, how much fun can we have and how much will the residents enjoy this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like a good water balloon fight, right? Or just throwing them. I mean, it's so much fun. But then you think about like, well, it took me hours to clean up 15 minutes of fun.
Is it
Yeah.
worth it? No.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
And I think I think what's important is to have communication with, open lines of communication with the manager, because it's important for lifestyle to understand what is the manager thinking of. And lifestyle directors that might be new into the your positions, or community managers that might be, or GMs that are brand new and, working with the lifestyle director, create a list of things that you're thinking about. Insurance, water, sprinkler, landscape. Like, have a list of things that you can kind of tick off so you can answer it before you go and sell it. Because I think it just helps equip the lifestyle director and helps them start thinking that way. And it doesn't limit their creativity, but I think it will challenge their creativity, like you were saying, Lauren. Instead of saying, "Well, what about this? Well, what about this?" It's like, if you know what their objections may be, right? Then you kind of think through that a little bit more, and so that you're prepared when you go. I would say for a water balloon fight, I'm gonna have all the, I'm gonna reward the kid who picks up the most water balloon scraps at the end. Like,
Brilliant.
I'm going to give them an award. And so we'll see who is the fastest and who can clean up the most. And I will have a
Oh,
prize.
Monica,
I
where
will
were
have
you
a
7 years
prize.
ago?
Well, because I've been there. I've done that.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
didn't think of it at the moment, right? It was like, oh my gosh, what a mess I've created.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you have landscapers mad at you because
Oh.
they're in trouble because they're supposed to clean up things, but it's not their job to clean up yeah. It's just a whole mess when you don't think through things.
I think one thing that I would love to just kind of chat about with all three of us is, you know, a lot of times the lifestyle directors are the front line, but we're going to get those HOA questions. So, Anne-Marie, like, I know you've guided me a lot, but can we like kind of share with everybody what is the best approach so that, we're not playing good cop and bad cop while we're in the clubhouses or at events, or, kind of how can we navigate those questions and concerns in the moment when maybe we have a heated resident?
So, well, definitely in a moment, you don't want those folks detracting from your event. So it's kind of almost a, oh, hey, let's come over here and talk for a second and see if we can figure that out moment. Pull them to the side so that your event can still carry on. If you know the answer, I mean, great. But a lot of the times it's going to be something very specific, very pointed, that they want something direct. And those are just, I definitely understand. I appreciate you bringing it up, whatever it might be, giving the comfort that you hear them, but you don't know the answer to that and that you have to get that from the right person. I think that you've always done a great job at doing that, letting them know, hey, I don't know, but I know Anne-Marie knows. Let me put you in contact with her, or let me ask, and then I'll see if I can get back to you. I think just having the relationship between a lifestyle director and the property management, even if it's a property management team, being able to go back and forth and say, hey, these are what we're seeing as questions. Hey, how can we head off this issue that we're hearing about? How can we maybe share some information? Do we do a learning event, or how can we share it? Can we put something out? Can we send an email to everybody, especially if you're hearing like a widespread thing? It definitely helps us gauge what's going on in the community. So you get to hear from firsthand when they come in, they visit, when they're at an event, they start talking, and you hear additional stuff. May not have seemed like an issue, but it's maybe spreading now that they're talking about it. So you can give me a heads up. Same thing, like, hey, we just sent out the dues. We just did this. All those things. It
We
just
just did
happened.
that.
It just happened. We had to raise dues, unfortunately, and nothing gets cheaper, right? And so the first thing everybody does is question the fun, right? The extras when your bills are going up, but automatically the funds has to decrease. And that's not necessarily true, but a little bit it is. You have to be cautious with those things. Us being able to navigate together, then we can support the residents and each other as best as possible and get information shared.
I love
Yes.
that.
Communicating.
Yes.
With your role, are you the one that completes the operations for each site, or are you over someone who does?
I am both. So it just depends on which community you're in.
Okay.
But I'm the head overall of our team, but I also manage multiple of the sites.
Okay.
So both positions, however, we all work together. So it's really just a joint effort and
Okay.
everything.
So the reason I asked that question is Are your managers, are they encouraged or required to go to any of the lifestyle events?
They're not required. So it
Okay.
just depends on what's going on, but definitely encouraged in depending on the event. There are certain
Mhm.
events, like if it's just a club event, say book club, not necessary that we're always there at every event.
No.
Some of the larger events, absolutely, because it helps everybody have a name and a face and have a connection. Being on site, the lifestyle director, or just being at those events all the time has a very good connection, rapport with people. Being a manager where we're not there as often, we don't get those personal connections unless it's
Mhm.
like by phone call or email. And generally, the only time that people reach out is when they're mad, right? Something's wrong and they need you for whatever purpose. And so it's nice that they get to see the management in the happy go lucky, a nice way versus just when they're mad and they have to call us.
Mhm.
That is so important.
Then they see us as people too, and they feel
Mhm.
better about calling or reaching out to us. And it definitely helps the relationship because they'll tell us more. Hey, we saw this, what's going on? And then they won't feel like they can't ask us
Mhm.
questions. Because there's so many times when somebody is very upset or frustrated and they come to us with a question, we're like, hey, that's right here. You could have seen that at any time. We could have helped you at any time. But they got to a point of frustration before they reached out. And if they felt like they had more of a connection, I think they'd reach out sooner. And we could say, easy, here you go.
Mhm.
And like alleviate the whole time that they were frustrated or
Mhm.
getting to that point. And a lot of times when you're frustrated, like what's the percentage? You tell like 10 people when you're mad about something, but if you have a good experience, you only tell like 5.
If that.
So so definitely we want to like definitely have more good than bad
Mhm.
and make sure they're comfortable.
I love that.
I love to, like, and I know every team is different, but we're set up in a way that, like, for example, I'm going out of town next week, but I have an event on the calendar. So Anne-Marie's able to step in and be that fun person and continue those relationships. And I think it's really cool and important that the community managers have that kind of relationship as well.
Definitely. That is actually rare.
Mhm.
Typically, if you have an event, you have to be there, but it can be very difficult for people in the lifestyle position to get away because
Mhm.
they're constantly on. And so if you
Mhm.
don't have that, opportunity to network with your manager to have them step in, it's just a miss for everybody. You have a burnt out
Mhm.
lifestyle person and, just animosity grows. And so I love
Yeah.
that. I
Mhm.
love the teamwork between the two of you.
You've got a great team.
We do.
So tell me this. I'm guessing in your 20 years, you've worked with both lifestyle communities and non lifestyle communities.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
What is your, and maybe not, but what is your biggest difference when you work with lifestyle community with the people who live there as opposed to people who don't live in lifestyle communities? Like, what do you
Mm.
see as a difference?
So the, I guess, patience and respect for one another because they know each other.
Mm,
They're not as harsh when you know Jill and Jim, let's just
mm-hmm.
call it next
Mm-hmm.
door, uh, and you have a relationship with them where you can catch them outside and say, "Hey, what's going on with this?"
Mm,
Mhm.
You have a relationship with them and a comfort level that you can say, "Hey, I saw that this was going on. What do you got next door?" It alleviates them from calling me to, like something weird's going on, and then they hear from me and they're like, "Who tattled?" And instantly it's a defensive thing.
mm-hmm.
So when you have those kind of relationships, there's more patience, and they're like, "Oh, well, I know he's got this business, or I know they're
Mm-hmm.
going out of town. I know they have family."
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of give a moment of like, okay, it's probably just a temporary thing,
Mhm.
or they don't have as much resistance in asking them a question. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, if you come at people the wrong way, of course, everyone gets defensive. But if
Mhm.
you have a relationship where you're like, yo, friend, what's going on? It comes off a whole lot softer. And I feel like you keep the respect there between each other. Definitely, I've noticed, I've had many communities that didn't have lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So everybody goes to work, comes home. pulls into the garage, shuts the garage. No one's out front.
Mm.
No one's paying attention to anything that's going on around the neighborhood, and nobody knows each other. And it's just kind of this weird awkwardness.
Ghost.
Yeah, ghost town is totally awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But in our lifestyle communities, and even our communities that may not be fully lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
they still have some kind of activities or some kind of event group, people that kind of keep the jovial kind of stuff going, keep one or two events, even if it's just one or two going, and those neighborhoods thrive. And it's just because they're willing to help each other, they're out there, they're knowing each other. Those are communities where you see people walking, you see people outside their front doors, in the driveway, their front yards, their backyards.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the place and really enjoying everything about their neighborhood, where those other ones, they don't feel comfortable. It's almost like
It's
because
cold.
they just don't know each other. And then you kind of have that like weird, like nobody's broken the ice.
Right.
And I think having the lifestyle director and having lifestyle in just general or some sort of lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
breaks that ice to bring them out.
Yeah, it's so funny just hearing this. It's like neighbors versus non-neighbors, even though they're all neighbors, right? It's like
Totally.
one is more neighborly than the other. It reminds me, I was doing some research for a project a while back ago, and I remember reading about back in the day when people had barns and they would need assistance in raising the barn.
Oh, yeah. Barn raising.
Yeah, barn raising. And that was actually a thing that everyone got around and everyone came together to help a neighbor raise the barn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a simple thing, but it's something that really kind of created this opportunity for people to connect and gather and talk. And I think that's what is missing so much from non-lifestyle communities or ones that don't have the people who stoke the bonfire, as Lauren and
Mhm.
I talked about with Kevin Kelly, is that if you don't have anyone that's going to lead the pack and bring people together, then it becomes where everyone just shuts the door and they don't talk to anyone. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's where you get the isolation that we're seeing. And
Mhm.
then there's no reason for them to stay there.
Right. That's kind of where I was going to go to, Monica, is like, I feel like people living in lifestyle communities aren't so quick to sell and buy a new home
Mm.
because those are their friends. They want to live with their friends. Well, not
Yes.
with them, but near them.
Well, it's just interesting. I worked with a build to rent community that we were focused on health and wellness. And part of that health is wellness is also the social component. And
Mhm.
what we found is a year from when not having any lifestyle to having lifestyle, what we found was like a 22% increase in retention, which is
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
People were choosing to stay. They were happy. There was less complaints. You saw the Google reviews go from the threes to the high fours. So
Wow.
there is something to be said for that.
Yeah. So how do you, because every community is going to have that small group of resistors. So, and I know Anne-Marie gets faced with it a lot because they certainly don't want to come to me and be like, why are you here? So how do we handle those people?
I try to, I try to get them involved.
Mhm.
I try to bring them into the fold because usually it is a viewpoint that they have based on whether it's an observation or something previous or just what they hear or what they're assuming.
Mhm.
And the best way to make people understand and see truth is by putting it in front of them and having them
Mhm.
experience it. So whether they're mad about whatever is going on in the neighborhood or they're trying to avoid paying dues because they don't want it going to fun stuff, right?
Mhm.
Those
Mhm.
things. We show them it's really hard to equate what lifestyle does for a community, but to put them in the forefront of it to see how much better it is when there
Mhm.
are relationships is what I try to do. Now,
Mhm.
sometimes they will always resist. They don't want to be a
Right.
part of it. Maybe,
Mhm.
I mean, that's their prerogative, but you still try to show, even if you're showing their friends, their immediate neighbors, the people they talk to all the time,
Mhm.
eventually, if they can't hear it coming from me, their neighbors will tell them. and that will continue to spread. Sometimes people just have to hear it from someone else too.
So true.
So if you're, I could say it 30 times and it doesn't make any sense. But Lauren says it and they're like, oh, epiphany. Perfect. We get it and love it. So you keep bringing them into the fold and keep encouraging them to join or to see stuff. I do the same thing with people who are against the HOA in general. If they have a concern that they're just whatever they're trying to fight or push back on, I bring them into the advisory groups. I bring them like, come see what everyone else is saying. Bring your ideas and then let's talk about it. And I'm usually pretty straightforward in all those conversations. Like, look, here it is. And here's all the things now I have to think about because you're asking for something, but what about this? What about this? How about that? Could we do it this way? And you put that all on the table and let other people comment too. And a lot of times those things that they're pushing really hard on kind of turn around and they're like, oh, well, okay, we can either meet in the middle here or maybe there's a reason that doesn't work and they've done this before and they kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
It's a trust thing too. You have to earn it with everybody.
I was just,
At.
yes, that's actually what I was going to say is one benefit lifestyle really has is they're able to gain that trust much faster than the manager. And it's because we're not the ones writing compliance, violations to them. We're the ones doing the fun stuff. And we actually have more time to build relationships with them because we're out at those events with them. And so that's one thing I think is really, really important. But it sounds like you did an amazing job really bringing them in and letting them see like, this is how the sausage is made. And if you have a better idea, then we're all ears. I also want to say that for any lifestyle people that have people that are going against their event and like, why are you doing this? And why are you doing that? Invite them to a meeting of yours, like a social committee meeting. And if they don't want to do that, then sit down with them and say, what ideas do you have? I would love to hear your ideas and I'll see what we can do to, incorporate them. I may not be able to do it this year due to budget, but I will make sure that we get at least, one of your ideas. I will try my best to get in, for next year. We all know there are certain people that just want to complain to complain. That's you
Absolutely.
will never make them happy. I always say I try to kill people with kindness. I will I make it my mission. You don't want me to think that you don't like me because I'm going to annoy the heck out of you until you are like, mercy. We all should be rowing together. The lifestyle and manager and the residents, we're all in it together. The residents are happy, lifestyle's happy, manager's happy, we're all happy.
Yep.
That's all we want.
Our success is shared, so we need to all be in it together.
Definitely.
And these rules are like, they're to help you. It's so hard to get people to understand that. Trust us, people. If you're not a lifestyle person and you're just listening and you live in a neighborhood, if you didn't have those rules, you would probably be complaining a whole lot more.
Yeah, you bring up a good point is that, it's funny because I watch the Facebook feed with just amazement in my community. And
I love those pages.
as long as it's not your community that you're working in, it's great.
Those are the best.
I got in one yesterday.
No,
it wasn't good.
Stay out. Lifestyle people don't go in. Stay out unless you have to manage the social media. But where I'm going with this is if it's an unofficial page, right? It's not something that the community that is ran by you, Lauren, for example, that you're overseeing. It's an official communication. If it's unofficial, it's really hard to convince anyone on that forum from a HOA perspective that you are there for them.
Right.
Because what they do is they do the gang mentality. One will take a swing and they're like, oh, that was good. I'm going to take this swing. And no matter what you do, you're just getting pummeled.
Yep.
And so, yeah, anyways.
That's the exact post series that I was reading yesterday. I took it in. I mean, we can laugh about it, thank goodness, but I took it into Anne-Marie's office so we could just read all of the swings together.
Oh, if I'm on Facebook for an email or a letter or all this stuff, it is what it is. I don't fight that. That's their place to vent or do whatever they're going to do. It's fine. The best part is, I will come to them the next day and we'll be the same friends. I'll treat them exactly the same and they'll be like, okay. this didn't get the rise out of them that they wanted or whatever might have happened. I don't know. It's always going to come with somebody who wants to do that kind of stuff. And I just meet them at the end of it and be like, okay, I'm still going to smile at you. I'm still going to invite you to all the events, and we're still going to have the same conversations, and I'm still going to share the same information, and we'll continue on.
Anne-Marie has been such a great mentor leader since I've been in this position, because I came from a corporate event planning where it mattered if your people were happy. But she's really kind of taught me how, first of all, this thick skin is compliments of Anne-Marie. She has taught me how to weather those comments. The point of this is, if you guys don't have somebody like that in your life, find yourself an Anne-Marie that can hear you out and then tell you it's okay, but show you how to smile and just continue to go back and be like, your words are just your words, and I'm not going to change at all.
And, take constructive criticism, right?
Yes, so important.
It's hard. It is definitely a challenge for everybody. Sometimes you don't want to hear critiques about yourself. And I know we are all our worst judges. I judge myself way harder than anybody else. But if somebody's trying to tell you, hey, I didn't love this, or I don't like that, I always try to take them to heart. Like, I understand. We will try to do better the next round or the next event. We'll do this instead. Or, hey, my next letter will be written just a little bit different, to help. If it, sometimes people will say, oh, I read that, but I read it and I took this from it. Where I read it and I knew exactly what I was saying, right? Because I was saying it.
Exactly.
And then that's like, yeah, that could have been taken that way. And so then, we just pivot and change and go, okay, we've learned to clarify certain things, especially whether it's events or details about something. We've learned to clarify in different ways that helps people understand better. And so don't be afraid of the criticism. You're going to be criticized for no matter what. And so just take it in stride, try to grow. I try to learn from it, try to adapt as much as we can. There are some reasons things happen the way they do, but as much as you can adapt and make it better.
So you bring up a really good point, and I think this is something that is very common, is that when we have written communication, so much can be interpreted by that person's own experiences.
Absolutely.
And so, it's really important that lifestyle or communication, whoever is in charge of writing that communication, have someone else review it. Because I think, like what you said, Anne-Marie, I think so often we'll write something and then we'll read it to proof it, but it's so easy to skip over a word because in our head,
1,000%.
we're saying
Our
it differently.
mind read it right.
Exactly. And I remember there was one of my lifestyle directors, he had put out a letter, to the community, and they were just like so upset. And then I read it and I was like, well, okay, let's see how could we have reworded this? I think let's just give them a call and just clarify with them that, we were on the same page, we understand, and, whatever. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it. It happens so often that written communication gets lost in translation.
1,000%.
Yeah.
There are so many times I'm like, well, I did send that out. And they're like, well, we didn't. It was either so far buried in something else, or the way I said it totally made them think something else. And it's like, okay, like, you learn how to be a little bit more precise, but sometimes that's the fault of it, is if you're almost too precise, then you're narrowing it down so much that then it becomes so analytical and you're just lost in the details. So there is a fine balance of where you try to put your words.
Definitely. No. Sometimes you can over communicate, which causes more questions.
Yes.
You're like, let me make sure I tell them everything. And then they're like, well, what about that? What about this?
Yeah.
1,000%. Yep.
Yeah. So it is a balance. Going back to what Lauren said, Lauren, you're saying like you go from the corporate where everyone needs to be happy to,
Mhm.
where you go to residence. And it's not that, just to clarify, it's not that
Right.
not
I had that
everyone,
thought.
yeah, let me just
I was
clarify
gonna
that for
say, we
everyone.
want
We want them
happiness,
to be happy.
Exactly. We want them to be happy.
but
But I
we are
think
also human and understand not everyone will be happy 100% of the
that's
time.
Right.
exactly it. Like, we have to understand that we can't please everyone. We also
Mhm.
have to understand that what I used to tell my lifestyle directors when they were first getting started is sometimes you have to build calluses, right?
Mhm.
To be able to get that thick skin so that
Mhm.
you don't see it as a personal attack, but
Mhm.
you see the constructive where it is. And maybe
Mhm.
there's a personal attack in there, but it's like if you're, pouring, sauce through a strainer. You want to see what is left over for to take out and do a self-critique on.
Right.
What is just
Absolutely.
nonsense and it was just there to hurt me? And what
Mhm.
is there any truth to what they said? So I think that it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
important for our lifestyle team members and even managers to be able to look through it that in that perspective.
I think those personal attacks say more about that person than
Yes.
they say about who they're
Mhm.
attacking.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to remind myself that if somebody is attacking me or upset about something, about their HOA or an
Mhm.
event, that there is probably so much other things going on in their lives, that this finally is that piece, that
Yes.
the straw that broke the camel's back kind of
Mhm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to, like, okay, why are you so mad at me over an email or something like that? What did it really harm?
Mm-hmm.
And it's more or less just something that they've reached a tipping point or a breaking
Mhm.
point or something's happened. And it's usually not 100% whatever the situation is. It's usually
Right.
there's so many other life things going on. And then this just kind of hit the top.
Yep. You were the last straw.
Well, and usually this is something that they can argue. A lot of
Mhm.
Yep.
times things that are happening are beyond their control, whether it's, sickness or all these things, or, family troubles, and they
Yeah.
can't control other people, but you can get frustrated and try to fix this item.
Yeah, and I think
Mhm.
there's a power dynamic to it as well. I think it's
Mhm.
like kind of twofold. I think
Yes.
when you are working in an association, they feel like you work for them, that they pay your salary. And you're like, actually, the company pays my salary, but I am here to make sure that I can help the residents be happy and enjoy where they
Mhm.
live. I
Mhm.
think there's that dynamic, but I also think what I have seen is we have our jobs for a reason in community management. And it's because we know the laws, we
Mhm.
know the rules, the regulations, we understand what could get us in a lawsuit and
Mhm.
all that jazz. And
Mhm.
what I have found just watching through my little looking glass in my own community is how many people don't know the laws. They don't know the rules.
Mhm.
They think that, the management's trying to be sneaky. It's like the whole
Mhm.
trust factor. There was a huge issue with trust around people
Mhm.
in power, so to speak.
Mhm.
And so they always feel like there's some conspiracy theory that, the HOA is trying to steal the money or they're
Yep.
trying to, what I'm saying, like mischievous stuff. Or why do they
Mhm.
have executive sessions? Well, no meeting should be private. It's like, no, actually, you want that meeting to be private. Because if
Mhm.
it's not, we're going to be in a huge lawsuit. But
Mhm.
there's only so much you can tell people. So I think one thing that's really important is whenever we do resident orientations is to walk through these kind of common things. What is an executive session? What's allowed to be in an executive session? Stuff like that. So they don't feel like we're trying to hide things from them.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes,
So
definitely sharing that information as much as possible, but again, balancing what you can and cannot share.
definitely. So Lauren,
Mm.
tell me how, when you have an idea,
Mm.
tell me what the process is.
Um.
I know, I just kind of flipped the script on you.
Yeah. No, that's great. So, I mean, I we have a very good working
Okay.
relationship.
Yeah.
So I'll just run over to her office and be like, "What do you think about this idea?"
Mhm.
And usually I can tell from her face what she thinks.
I
And
need
so
to mask better.
I immediately go into the like, but before you say anything,
Mhm.
but we are really good about bouncing ideas off of
Yes.
one another. And one thing that's really great is because she does have such a large book of non-lifestyle communities, she still has those volunteers that have food trucks or have a side business or things like that. So what's fun is when she's able to contribute to our events with things from other communities. So we're really able to kind of build up each other's events, or I'll help in the non-lifestyle communities too. Say, what can I do to get something going here?
All right, so you just brought something up I think is so important. I think it's extremely important for manager and lifestyle people to understand your personalities. Meaning,
Mhm.
I was such an expressive lifestyle director is I would run exactly to my manager and I'd be like, okay, I have the best idea and this is it. And she would look at me sometimes and be like, Monica, I'm in the middle of like 30 other things right now. Come back. And I'd be like,
Guilty.
yeah. And I'd be like, okay. And I would get all like bummed out because I was feeling it, right? And I think it's so important to understand, how does your manager want to be communicated to?
Yes.
Because we all have different, there's the direct personality, the, analytical,
Definitely.
the expressive, and the, I can't remember the other one. Anyhow, but there's 4 different like kind of personality types depending on your, the test that you take. And
Right.
most managers have a director's personality. And it's because they have so much stuff going on that they don't want the fluff. They want you to get right to it, tell them exactly what it is. And a lot of times it's like, shoot it to me in an email, bullet point it, and I'll let you know. So, Anne-Marie,
how do you deal with me? So, but no, you're like, Monica, I'm not kidding. Like, if I see she's working on something, I'll come to her office door. For those of you not watching, I'm creeping around, and I'll just be like, she'll see my eyes.
I'll feel
and she'll
this
be
like
and she'll either be like, not now, or you can come in.
it's so true. Guilty. I used to do that all the time.
And she knows that it's okay. We've been doing this long enough that she knows the questions I'm going to ask. So how much, when, where, and give me the highlights. I don't need to know every single thing that's going to happen at this event, just the highlights. I don't need to know how or who's going to be there or what, that kind of thing. But if I know the highlights, so I know what we're getting into, I can usually, here's my thoughts, and boom, she's like, okay, I could do those, and out we go. And she's off to the races with a fun event and a budget and all the things.
And then I send her a calendar invite, and I'm like, you should come to this one.
Those are the ones that sit in my inbox really long. I'm like, do I have anything else that day? Yeah, I try to make it a point to go to some of the bigger
She
things.
does. She's really good about coming.
It's definitely, it's hard because we also have meetings and managers have so many other things, but definitely it's so good to be out when the residents are having fun too. And it also lets them ask questions in a lighter setting.
Yeah.
Meetings when everyone's serious and all the things.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't feel comfortable or they don't want to ask a question because they don't want to stir up something else.
Yes.
They can feel the tension.
Yes.
And so this gives it a like, hey, what if I thought about this? I mean, we've created some fun events. Well, Lauren has through people just requesting different things. There was I got an email for an advertisement for something totally not even related to our communities. And I forwarded on to them. I'm like, this is a cool thing. You guys should look at this, and it's being planned as an event later down in the future. So it's kind of one of those things that we just bombard and work with each other as much as we can.
That's so funny. I think everyone could relate to that. I have my last question, and then Lauren, you can take over.
Oh, I mean, I asked her, well, should I get an event approved while we're here? No.
Yeah, that's
well, she's like, put her on the spot.
Here's the break.
And we just lost Anne-Marie. There she goes. Just kidding.
Her connection broke. I don't know what happened.
No, but it is about events. And Anne-Marie, what is your favorite event that Lauren has done?
I love Easter. I don't know why. I love the kids. I love just the excitement of it. And it's a really small event, but I feel like it's
not going to be small this year.
I know, but it still feels intimate.
Yeah.
If that's the word. Like it still feels like, I don't know. I just love it. Every year, I love seeing them so excited, so amped up. It is
She's the MC for our Easter event.
I do it every year.
She just loves it. She's like, ready, set, go.
I know. I'm like, are you ready? And I like get them pumped up for it. And it's my favorite. And it has nothing to do with the holiday, which is so sad. I don't even think about that. I just love the excitement of it. And I mean, I love our other events. I love when we do
Mhm.
concerts. I love when we do educational stuff. Those are all great, but you just don't get that like pumped hypedness out of
The
it.
kid
I
energy.
agree. The spring,
And
egg hunts are just amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that is by far my favorite. I love it. And I like all of our other stuff that has some kind of
Mhm.
energy. We've done pool parties. We do, the beginning of the year pool kickoff and stuff. We've got music and dancing in the pool and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, Easter is just always so amped up. The kids are like on fire. The families are all just excited and it's tons of fun.
Love
And a
that.
special shout out to the baby goats I had last year.
Oh,
I
they were great.
right, baby goats. Love
They
baby
were great.
goats.
Yes.
Definitely.
Gonna have to work on getting them approved in the amphitheater this year.
Oh, I feel some tension.
Potentially.
I'm just kidding.
Said approved? She would be the break
Potentially.
on that one.
No, that's not my break.
But
Oh,
I
well,
think,
my question. Oh, go ahead.
well, before you ask your question, I just want to add on to
Mhm.
what Anne-Marie said.
Mhm.
Like, I think it's so cool that you MC her event.
Oh, yeah.
And I
She's so good.
encourage, managers and lifestyle people to figure out ways to incorporate managers in a way that can be really fun. And everyone has a different personality. They may just want to
Oh,
be at
100%.
the registration and checking people off. But if you have someone that has the excitement Anne-Marie does, put her on a
Mhm.
microphone and let her take over. I just think that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. She helps rev up that energy too.
Love it.
I
They're
love
running
it.
and she's like, go, 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 go. I love it.
I think
She
they
made it
like-
into our promotional video even with
Oh
her.
my gosh, I did. And I was like, oh my goodness. But I think it was like right after we were getting all the kids like amped
Mhm.
up and yes. So I mean,
It
we
is
just have
fun.
fun with it.
We do.
If we're having fun, the people are having fun, it's fantastic. I mean, you can't ask for a better event or day or team when and everybody is enjoying it like that. So it's great.
We have
I
a
love
lot of
that.
fun, and I think that's key for everybody out there. Don't forget to have fun when you're working, because if you're not having fun, then you need to change something. Yes, you're going to have bad days. Don't anybody think that there's not going to be a job with bad days or hard moments, but it's possible to have fun too.
Yeah, I think that's a testament that we can say that because of where we work. We have a good culture and it's just amazing to feel comfortable with everybody you're with and
Mhm.
be able to bounce ideas. We just have a good rapport with our
Mhm.
community and our whole team and our office that it makes it worthwhile.
And I think though the community can feed off of that energy too. So
1,000%.
if it's obvious that your team is just like, I don't want to work with them, I don't want to be here, they're
They
that's
feel
not
it.
setting a good tone for your
It is
people.
not. It's like going to a wedding, right?
Mhm.
Where the bride and groom look miserable.
Oh.
Right? Like, or their body language, like they're trying to be like, yeah, but their body language is like,
Get me out of here.
yeah. Like they're like, one person's like, hey, love you, honey. And the other one's like, I don't know. Like that actually
Yeah.
happened at a wedding once. And I was like, oh, that is not going to work. Yeeks.
You're like, ugh.
But you feel
How are
it.
they doing now?
They got a divorce.
This just went a totally different route.
Yeah.
Sorry. But what I'm saying is that you can feel the energy. And so it's really important that if your team is there with you, that they're not walking around like disgruntled employees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point, Lauren.
And confidence.
Mhm.
People, if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, what you're planning, what you're telling them, whatever you're sharing, what you're speaking about, they will feel that. And then they will instantly not trust it, they will feel that from you. So you got to go in it, that you love it, that you're enjoying it, the confidence of knowing what it is, because it will detract from it. And then your event is kind of like, "Rrr,"
Yep. So true.
or
So
your
true.
meeting is, "Rrr."
Oh, man. Well, Anne-Marie, I know you're super busy, so I'm going to ask my last question and we'll wrap it up. As you're growing lifestyle communities and bringing on new lifestyle directors, what is one personality trait that you think is absolutely imperative to the success of that position?
Ooh, a personality trait. Being able to go with the flow, for sure. You have to be able to pivot. Positivity always.
Yeah.
Because none of us go into a job or anything knowing it all. And
Mhm.
having the positiveness that I'm willing to learn or just hear it,
Mm-hmm.
you can, I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can learn anything,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're not positive and you're not willing to learn, really, it's probably not for you.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe those are two traits, the
Yeah. No,
willing to
that's good.
learn and positiveness, that because you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to go with the flow. You have to be able to handle whether it's a happy person, an upset
Mm-hmm.
person. Vendors are not going to show up. Food
Mm-hmm.
trucks are going to be behind. Something's not going to happen, or you're having an event and the bathroom doesn't work. I mean, there's a million things that will all
Something's gonna
happen.
go wrong.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how well you've planned in the HOA stuff, no matter how well I budget, no matter how well everything is planned, something happens because you can't control all the people. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many variables out there. You can't control
Yeah.
everything. Something will happen. And if you can be positive about it, oh my gosh, okay, let's go, let's do it here. Let's change this. Let's fix that. Let's rent this. Whatever it can be, if you're positive and willing to work for it and learn and do that kind of stuff, you'll succeed.
Love that.
Love it. Well, Anne-Marie, thank you so much for hopping on here. I
You're
know
so welcome.
we've been
Yes,
here at
thank
the
you.
office today, and I've been watching everybody be in a revolving door through her door. And she's like, I've been writing this email since 9 a.m., guys. So I appreciate it.
You're
And
so welcome.
with that, I'm going to wrap it up by saying that Anne-Marie and I are living proof that when management and lifestyle work hand in hand, we don't just build communities, we build places where people belong. Thanks, guys. Talk to you next time.